Believe me or not, when I first started preparing for GRE, my friends told me it hardly takes 2 weeks to prepare for it. But when I started preparing on my own, I realized that it is not as easy as it seems like. And trust me, it would take at least 2 to 2.5 months for an average person to get a score of around 320 plus. By the end of this video, you would know a detailed strategy on how to prepare for GRE, and also I'll be giving you 2 bonus tips to boost your preparation. So let's get started. Step 1. Start with a timed practice test. Neither bother to know about the syllabus of GRE nor about the question types asked. Your main focus is to know the strengths and weaknesses. There are a lot of free GRE practice tests available, and here I've jotted down 4 of them. First one, Manhattan Prep free GRE practice test. Second one, Kaplan free GRE practice test. Third, Princeton Review free GRE practice test. And fourth, McGill free GRE practice test. You can attempt any of those and know your strengths and weaknesses. By this step, you would get idea on whether you'd have to increase your math skills or your verbal skills, and you would also get a fair idea on if your pace of solving is a bit low or not. Step 2. This is a very crucial step because in this step, you would be understanding the concepts used and jotting down all the important formulas by watching the Magoosh videos. Magoosh videos can be found in various torrent websites. You don't have to essentially have a subscription of the Magoosh. Manhattan 5-pound book has over 12,000 quantitative problems, and it has 23 chapters in it dedicated for quants. So it would have adequate number of problems to solve and master the quant section. Considering that it has 23 chapters on quants, even if you solve a single chapter in 2 days, you would approximately finish off the quant section in 1.5 months. This is a Manhattan 5-pound book, and if I go to the contents of this book, you'll see that there are many chapters like arithmetic, algebra, inequalities, and so on. Let us go to one chapter, arithmetic. When I browse to the questions, you can see that I've marked down few questions and I've also written down few comments like this. So basically, if there's an issue with the understanding of the question, or if there's some new concept that I've learned while solving the question, I'll write it down here itself rather than writing it down separately in a notebook along with the question, because it saves time. So you can use PDF readers like Sodo or Adobe to do all this stuff. So once you've noted down all the questions like this, what we do is typically solve all of the questions once, note down all the questions which you weren't able to solve in the first go, and then in the second go, solve only the questions which you have marked so that you would not forget the concepts, and it also serves like a revision, right? So this would be the ideal way of solving the entire arithmetic. While solving the quantitative questions in the Manhattan 5-pound book, you need to start building your vocabulary. And for that, the best app, according to me, is vocab because it has multiple word lists. For example, it has Magoosh word list, it has Barron's word list, and it has many other. In my opinion, Barron's 333 is the best word list to start with because it contains just the amount of words that you require to start your preparation with reading comprehensions, single blanker questions, and multiple blanker questions. While using vocab app, make sure to write the words, the meanings, mnemonics, and examples in a book. I would recommend not to use flashcards because you need to invest extra amount of time in order to cut the pieces of paper, write the words from the front and the meanings. In the final step, you need to start with your preparation with the verbal. Now you have already prepared your quants from the Manhattan 5-pound book. You have already prepared the 333 word list, and now it's the time to prepare from the big book. I would highly and I would very strongly recommend you to prepare verbal from the GRE's big book. It's because whenever you prepare from the third-party resources like Manhattan or Princeton, the level of vocabulary of the questions in them are much higher compared to the original GRE exam. So you would actually get intimidated by solving third-party sources because you would feel like you have not learned any vocabulary at all. So Big Book has almost 27 chapters in it. You can solve all the single blankers, double blankers, and the reading comprehensions from Big Book itself. And this should be the one-stop solution for you to practice all the essential verbal questions. So this is one among the 27 tests in Big Book. You can see here that question number 1, 2, 3, and 7 are multiple blanker questions, and question number 4, 5, and 6 are single blanker questions. These are the markings that I've did when I was preparing for GRE. You can see that I've marked question number 1, 2 and 6 wrong. So I have marked the correct answers in green ink so that I can come back and revise later. The next section is the analogy section, but we don't have to learn this or practice this because this is no longer in the GRE now. And then you have one long passage with almost how many questions? With almost like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions. And then you have another short passage. So you can actually practice the questions from Big Book itself. Since these are the official questions of GRE, these are actually the questions which have come in the past. So you can rely on them. These are of the original GRE level. So you can practice all of these questions. And if you do not find this Big Book online in the torrents, you can ping me in Instagram. I will share you these 27 books. And also there's a small tip that given a question with a single blanker and another question with multiple blanks, both of these questions have equal weightage. So if at all you fall short of time, then it's always better to leave the multiple blankers and go ahead with the single blankers. Even personally, when I attempted GRE, I did all the single blankers first and then I went for the double blankers if I had time. So that is all for this Big Book. After having completed 2 or 3 chapters in book, start giving mock tests. Power Prep 1 is one of the finest mock tests that you would write, which is almost close to the original GRE test. So give an attempt for Power Prep 1 and you would get an approximate score, and that should actually be almost the same score which you would score in the original GRE as well. So once you give the Power Prep 1, you would have a fair idea of where you need to put more efforts on. Finally, keep solving Big Book. I know Big Book takes a lot of time for you to solve. Keep solving, and it is at this point of time that you would start another resource to improve your vocabulary. So you have started with Barron's 333 word list. Now go for Barron's 800 words. The Barron's 333 words are a part of Barron's 800. So a part of your effort is now reduced. Keep reading the other words. And when you simultaneously master the vocabulary part and the verbal part, you would get a firm grasp of the entire vocab section. Let's go through Vocab Power app now. If I open the app, you can see that there are many word lists like Barron's 333, Barron's 800, Magoosh 1000 words, and many other word lists. Let's open Barron's 333, and here you have many lessons categorized into high frequency, medium frequency and low frequency. If you go to the lesson 1, it has all these high frequency words here. For example, let's take this word alacrity, the meaning of which is liveliness and eagerness, willingness to learn something. You can see that many people have put their mnemonics here. So you can pick the one that you like, and here, as I said, once you've mastered all of these Barron's 333 words, go to the Barron's 800, learn all of these 800 words, and then you'll be pretty much done with the vocab part. So that is all about vocab preparation. I think this is pretty much simple, straightforward. Finally, once you're done with solving the Big Book and when you're done with the Barron's 800 words, take Power Prep 2, and this is the final mock test that you would be taking, which is almost 90% close to the original GRE test. So you will get a fair idea on how much your marks would be in the original GRE. So finally, here come the bonus tips. Tip number 1, do not rely on videos from YouTube which say that you can complete your GRE preparation in 2 weeks or in 1 month. They are not for mediocre people, and only if you can put in almost like 10 hours of work per day, only then you will be able to finish your GRE preparation in less than a month. Tip number 2, do not go to GRE coaching institutes and waste a hell lot of money, because they have their own private material and we are not sure how much they are in sync with the original GRE test. On the other hand, if you rely on Manhattan or Big Book, they are proved to be almost in the same level of the GRE. So why do you have to waste your time and money in joining a GRE coaching institute when you have these books online and when you can download these books for free and practice on your own? Tip number 3, do not book your GRE slot right at the beginning nor at the very end. Book the slot when you're done with 3/4 of your preparation. That is, when you're done solving the quants problems from the Manhattan 5LB book, when you're done revising all the 333 words from the vocab power app, and when you have just started your preparation with the big book. This is an ideal time to book because you would know the approximate amount of time which you would require to finish off the book, and you would also be knowing your existing pace of study. So that's all for this video, guys. If you want any resources for GRE preparation, feel free to ping me on Instagram or mail me. Both my mail ID and the Instagram ID are linked in the description below. I would be more than happy to help you out if you have any other questions on this video, and stay subscribed to my channel to get more info on GRE preparation and studying abroad. Thank you.